stuff to be over with, trying to get it worked out, right? But before long, before we know it, we'll be back in person. Believe me, I promise you, we will be. So before we get going tonight, I do need to introduce you to my brother here, right? So you hear my boy, right? You hear him talking right now. That's Jonathan Webb that you hear. He's a doctor, he's a professor. He actually teaches at California State University, Northridge. I moved to Los Angeles and, clearly I'm a Black performer, right? And I needed someone who was going to be able to sync with me, right? Who was going to be able to vibe with me in terms of like voicing and whatnot. I lived in DC for 17 years and there's so many people of color, there's so many Black interpreters. And moving here to Los Angeles, there's really not the same numbers. It's funny, I met him and then I found out he's actually from St. Louis. And I'm like, okay, brother, we gonna work well together. Memphis, St. Louis, we only a 5-hour drive apart, we good. So let me introduce him really, really quick. Now, for comedic timing, what we do is I've actually got him on FaceTime with me so that I know where he's at with the whole performance. Hey, thank you, Webb. I'll see you over here on FaceTime. All right. I think we good. Don't want my phone to fall over. Don't want the interpreter to fall over. We've been working together, I think at this point, maybe 3 or 4 years now. So you build that relationship with an interpreter, right? Like you build this level of comfortability, and things just kind of sync up. Let me tell you, the entertainment industry, and particularly comedy, to really become a successful comedian, it's all about timing. It's all about timing, right? A lot of people think, deaf comedians in terms of timing really tend to be off. Well, Willis, what you talking about? But yeah, we've been working together for a minute now. We've taken time, and it's taken time to become successful. We've worked it out, and um, you know, of course, at times, like this situation here, we're not together, right? We're not in the same room. And I had another person earlier, Billy Sanders, who provided interpretation for me this afternoon. I know he had a video that went viral of him interpreting, all these people who were sprung on him, right? So I told him to behave himself. Like, this ain't about you today, Mr. Billy, right? So you have to have these backups, right? Because you don't always get the interpreter who, maybe you're synced up with or that you're accustomed to, but it's nice to be able to get someone who's comfortable with you. It's really nice to be able to work with Jonathan, because somebody knowing your style is really critical. So I'm grateful that he's here tonight. I know that he's made some time to be with me, and we're working this out. So I appreciate him. Thank you, my brother. So he's Black too, right? Don't forget that. That's an important part of this. Now, a lot of y'all may have looked at it and said, hey, are you sure he Black? Look, look. He may be more Black than some of the, we got those white people out there who talk about my cousin's Black, and I'm like, okay, you keep talking. You keep talking. All right. I think we good. Um, Now, y'all know, again, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I mentioned that this afternoon during the luncheon, during the performance that y'all asked me to do. Now, my understanding is that as a part of this whole contract, I was supposed to be sent some ribs. Like that was part of the deal. It's really not cool that I never received my ribs, y'all. You know, people can't cook here like they do in Tennessee. I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. In Memphis, we know how to throw down. We be working them ribs, right? Like on the regular. You know, we got them bibs. We we change them out when we need to, right? My mom will still slap me upside the head, you know, reminding me to put my bib on before I get after them ribs. You know, but we in Tennessee, we have, you know, we have our etiquette as well, right? We know how to use a knife and a fork, but at other times, we know how to throw down. We know how to keep it real with fam. You know, the reality is that's why my doctor's not very happy with me. And I think y'all know what I'm talking about. He comes at me like, Harold, you know them ribs are bad for you. Look at why you've got this high blood pressure. So I'm like, all right, doc, you right. But the doctor bills is too high too. They're higher than the blood pressure is. But then my doctor came back at me. So he told me that if I was going to keep on with these ribs, that maybe I needed to stop coming to the doctor's office. That's what was driving up the bill. I gave up. I'm like, okay. So what this means in the end is I'm trying to listen to my doctor. But you know, sometimes it really depends on who the doctor is. I know that we got an hour show tonight, but you know, give me a second. I need a little drink break. Now, you might think that that's alcohol. I ain't got no liquor in here. It's lemonade, I promise you. Lemonade. I'm a Southern boy, and I will always be a Southern boy. And lemonade is the best Southern drink we got. And I'm actually also 6 months no alcohol. I'm 6 months sober. So, you know, I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it going. But it's lemonade. Don't be telling those stories on me. I got my eyes on you. I see what you're doing. Now I know most of y'all are from Tennessee, maybe from Memphis, maybe some of y'all from Nashville. Y'all my people regardless, right? And my people are everywhere. But when I'm talking about my Tennessee folks, my Nashville people, if you see Taylor Swift, let me tell you, tell her I said hello, and y'all thank me later. You know, as I travel, sometimes people ask me about why it's so important that I have a Black interpreter. You know, why can't I have a white interpreter? And I'm like, yo, take it easy on me, yeah? You know, I'm good to have lots of different interpreters, right? It's a lot of qualified interpreters out there. But I need someone who can get me and my style. Let me give you this example, right? So, you know, I've been on the road for a minute. and this is all before I met Webb, but I was on the road doing my thing and, still trying to figure out who could provide good interpretation that would work with me. I had one friend that I pulled in. It was this short little white girl. She was a friend of mine. And so she was interpreting for me. And I don't know that I was thinking clearly when I asked her to come in and interpret, but it was what it was. The audience, there wasn't a whole lot of people of color there. The folks though knew me. The people knew though that I get into my stories, I get into my rhythm, I get into my show, right? So the interpreters there in the audience, they got the mic in their hands. I'm following them, they're following me. But I tell you what, that did not sound like me. No, no, sir, it did not. I came out on the stage. What's up, Memphis? What's up? That little white girl looked at me and she said, what's up, Memphis? How are you? I was like, what the? It was off from the first beat. I mean, and I'm not trying to throw no shade, right? But the audience is there looking at this black man up on stage, moving like a black man, but then they hear this little white girl and her voice. Y'all imagine. It wasn't really working. It really was not working. If I'm in a meeting and I got something, some business going on, sure, that might work. But for a performance, nah, we gonna have to have a better match. Sometimes, I get stuck and I'll pull in, who they got. And sometimes it's a white male interpreter. Now, y'all know CJ, right? CJ Jones. He's a comedian, well-known comedian here in Los Angeles. He's got an interpreter who he works with primarily, who's a white man. Now, CJ is black. Now, that man, he voiced for me one time. We interpreted together. And I was like, okay, wow, he's pretty good. He doing all right. But now I understand why. That guy has a black card. He's working for CJ Jones. He's been working for him more than 20 years. So he got his black card. He earned it. He on his stuff. So we invite him to the cookout. He get to show up. It's all good. And y'all know Keith Wan, of course, right? He's a CODA, a child of deaf adults. He does comedy too, but he has provided interpretation for me. He does a really good job. He gets comedic timing. So that makes a big difference. Again, it's so important, right? So he's on my list too. If I can't get one, I got a backup. If I can't get the backup, I got another backup. We do the best that we can. Sometimes though, you'll have somebody who's never met you before. They'll say, I've seen your show, I can voice for you, I can do this interpretation. And then we get into it. But then let me tell you what happens. You really want to know what happens? Sometimes I go fast, sometimes I slow it down. It really depends on what we're talking about at the moment, right? Because it's comedy. Again, it's all about timing. So, I keep my eye on the interpreter, make sure that they doing fine. And in this one situation, I had this guy. Actually, let me back up for a second. Now, first of all, let me tell y'all, I might have a language issue in my comedy shows, right? I might use a little bit of explicit language. I know there's a family show, so I'm gonna try to hold it down. But let me tell you about this guy. I'm there doing my thing. He's there. He's sweating bullets. He's sweating bullets trying to keep up with me. I'm like, what in the world is going on with this dude? I'm like, I might have to stop the show. He might need a Gatorade. This dude is about to be dehydrated. I'm like, bro, what's going on? But again, he wasn't used to that kind of work. He wasn't used to me. So, you need to have somebody who really is able to vibe with you, is able to, have that connection. It's difficult sometimes. And again, you know, you have to look at people's qualifications and, folks are qualified. There's plenty of POC interpreters out there. So, we make it work. I'm on them. I see them. I'm checking that timing. I know where we at. We good. I got you. That's some bonus for you right there, Webb. I'm going to take care of you. You want some ribs too? Of course. Okay. Hey, we looking for them ribs. And he from St. Louis, right? Therefore, he on them ribs too. So it's a lot that's gone on this last year, right? Life got real, real crazy. I mean, I've been worried about losing some of my hair. It's been stressful. I'm like, thank God I don't need to, be trying to rock a wig doing my work. With this pandemic stuff, you know, I've had the opportunity to look at myself. Been trying to get into some new habits. Been trying to look at myself. You know, we black folks, we ain't into hiking. Let me just state the obvious. Hiking ain't a bad thing. Being out in nature ain't a bad thing. It's just really not a part of our culture. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And there's some black folks who do that. That's cool. And I'm like, wow, y'all trying to be active for all of us. But, being in Southern California, it's a different place here. There's a different place here. So I've been trying to pick up this hiking thing, right? I've been trying to get fit. I've been trying to work out. Sometimes though, when I'm hiking, I'll see signs that say like, beware of snakes. And I'm like, yo, for real though? So first of all, let me tell you something. I'm a black deaf man. And you got this sign up here about beware of snakes. Second of all, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. And number three, I be on that all ribs you can eat, right? I don't mess with no snakes. I don't mess with them. Snakes, like for real, snakes. I got to worry about snakes now on the trail. So I ain't just hiking. I'm running this trail. I'm like, these snakes can't keep up with me. I should have a gold medal in the Olympics after seeing that sign. They ain't qualifying me though. Bothers me just a little bit. So yeah, it's a lot of hiking that goes on here in Southern California. It's a different culture, right? There's a lot of differences between here and Memphis. I lived in DC for 17 years. I mean, that's a long time. That's like almost 2 decades. That's a long time. Now, Memphis is still my home. And what I miss the most about Tennessee, things are so cheap in Tennessee compared to some of the places I lived. I mean, like real cheap. Everything is so expensive in California. It's through the roof. Like I go by the gas station and I'm like, really? $5.23? That's impossible. I'm gonna have to get myself one of them little electric cars. Those Teslas are out now, right? They've got all those electric Teslas. And now Apple, they're doing their thing, right? They're trying to set up this Apple car. It's an electric car too. I guess they're going to be coming out with theirs soon. And you're supposed to be able to tell it to navigate and speak to it. And I love my Apple products. I love my Apple products. And Apple has a whole Siri going on, right? You can speak into your phone or device or whatever. But I was thinking, I was thinking about that whole Siri thing. Like it was really on my mind. I'm like, something ain't right about Siri. Something's missing about that Siri thing. Like for real, something's missing. So let me tell you what's missing. Have y'all ever seen Siri sign? Now let's have some real talk. You know, I have these friends who have their iPhones, their iPads, or whatever, and they start talking, Siri, where can I find a McDonald's? And then apparently she talks to you and you get to go wherever, right? Where's an ATM where I can deposit my check? And Siri tells you less than zero point 0.5 miles. Great. But what about for us deaf folks? What are we supposed to do? Siri ain't talking to us. Siri better catch up. Because I'm telling you, we got ASL 5 being taught in college now. I'm going to need you to get through ASL 1, ASL 3, ASL 5. I need you to be able to talk to my deaf people. And if you expecting to sit in my car, my Apple car, I'm going to need you to be able to talk to deaf people who drive in them Apple cars. All right, I got my eye on you. We got that timing. Anyways, Siri be messing with me. Tim Cook better figure that out, or he gonna have to go back and dig up Steve Jobs or something. They're gonna have to call him back from the dead. Apple may be running out of some ideas. I don't know. I feel bad for him. Call Steve Jobs back. Steve, what we gonna do for iPhone 20? I know we got a long way to go before we get to iPhone 20. We got a lot of dumb scientists in America. We ain't quite there yet. Some of them still trying to figure out how a spider bite leads to Spider-Man. They should be trying to figure out solutions for cancer, diabetes, hypertension, all of it, right? Of course, you might have to blame some of that on y'all in the South. And I guess that's me too, with what we be eating. Just work out, right? Do some exercise. Do some exercise like I do. We'll be okay. Drink some water once in a while. We'll be all right. Hey, and don't forget to wear your mask. Last time I checked, we were still in the middle of a pandemic. I'm ready for that mask off though. You know, the whole mask thing is so complicated for deaf folks. I know that y'all feel me on that, right? People come up to us and start talking, and you trying to tell them, you know, you can't hear, and then you just lost. And it's like, I want to take my mask off, but I ain't about to take my mask off. You try to work it out with them, but you know, we so used to body language and facial expression and being able to figure things out and being able to communicate in the ways that we do. And now we got this mask on. It's like all you see is hands moving and big old eyeballs. And you know, I'm a little over it. I'm a little bit over it. I'm hoping soon we're gonna say that we've officially beat this corona. And then we can have a barbecue. Y'all can have a barbecue. Y'all can have a cookout and invite me. Where's my lemonade at? Let me get a drink of my lemonade. All right, I'm good. You know, I do these 1 hour shows on the road, and I got my drink there with me all the time, right? I got my lemonade here with me now. It's not really the same thing as what I might be doing on the road. But you know, it's a little sweet. It's nice. I might have to add a little bit of water to it. It might be a little too sweet. Now, in Tennessee, y'all got a lot of farms, right? A lot of land, a lot of open country. Memphis is a big city. Nashville's a big city. But you know, you got a lot of country in between there. And I hate driving in the middle of nowhere. I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. And y'all know why, right? I'm a black, deaf man from the city in the middle of nowhere. Tell me how that worked. Make that one make sense. You know, at nighttime, you driving the middle of nowhere. It's a reason I'm afraid. And you know, black folks don't survive in horror movies. And that's where they end up doing us in, is in the middle of nowhere. Unless the movie, of course, is, you know, directed by Jordan Peele. You know, if it's a Get Out, but I wonder what that Get Out would look like for deaf people. Could be interesting. Maybe I'll write it up and send it off to him. See what he says. And get a little business. So you know, you in the middle of nowhere, you driving. It's happened to me before, right? So this is a real thing. I'm gonna tell y'all a real story. I ain't making this up. It's late at night. You know, I got my high beams on, trying to get through the dark. I'm on my way on these windy roads, doing my thing. And then before I knew it, all of a sudden, it's a deer. Because, you know, we got them in the country. And this deer runs right into my car. So I get out of the car, and this deer is right there on the road on its side. And I'm like, you know, I'm in this little Honda Accord. It was like a 2006 little Honda Accord LX. And this big old deer, and we trying to battle. I'm like, you know, you did a good job on my car too. Dented it up and everything. And it was fixable, you know, not a big deal. Not fixable. But at the same time, I felt bad for the deer because he over there looking all stiff, eyes glazed over. I'm looking at that deer like, ooh, you looking extra dead. So I'm like, I'm trying to walk up to it. I'm like, you know, whatever. It's not my problem, right? So either I'm gonna try to help him or I'm gonna just get in the car and take off. But you know, I got a big heart, right? I see this little fluffy deer laying there. You know, I'm now look, I'm not soft, but I do have a heart, right? We from the South, and in the South, you gotta have a heart, regardless of who you are. So I'm looking at this poor little deer. And I wanted to help this deer. Like I wanted to call somebody or, you know, see if I could get someone out there, you know, I don't know. But I went over to my car to grab my phone. I turned around, that deer wasn't even there no more. I turned my back for 3 seconds and that deer is gone. My first thought was like, yo, that's not cool. That's called a hit and run. I'm like, really? Really? I ain't even see him. I ain't even see him take off. I just turned around and he ain't even there no more. I felt like I needed to put up signs that said, if you see this deer and you see one hobbling, you see him limping, let me know because I need to talk to that deer. Because that deer, what he did ain't cool. That's called a hit and run. I want to know what that deer's insurance is. You got a dent in my car. I don't care if you got Geico, Farmers, State, or one of them little low budget insurance. You know, you see like the general or whatever, it's like $25 a month. I don't care what kind of insurance you got. I'm gonna need to get your personal information because someone needs to fix my car. I'm broke. I don't have no money to be fixing a car. I swear to y'all, my stimulus check got lost. I ain't got nothing. I'm gonna just go ahead and blame it on Rona. I know the mailman. You know, I know his route, right? We got, you know, our mail folks are the best. They show up all the time, all the time. I appreciate them. We don't want to be stuck with no replacement. You know what that replacement looks like. You know, 50 Woodbury Road, that's not easy to find. It's the house on the left. And that person live all the way out there. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, I just left the school, like fourth grade, and I can't figure out, you can't figure out what the address is. You really clearly didn't leave fourth grade the right way. You got to get that GED. You can't leave school after fourth grade. That ain't gonna work. How did you get a government job? It's a mess. My lemonade. Uh, don't forget, don't get it twisted. 6 months, no alcohol. I'm gonna keep it that way. Now, all you kids who are watching the show, all you underagers, watch what I say. Don't drink till you old enough to drink. And old enough to drink means you go follow the law. Follow the law. We can't break no law. Don't do it. Don't do it. Wait, hold on a second. You know, people break the law every day, right? What's the difference? So, like I said, I've been here in California. I've been hiking. They got these snakes out here. But look, it's not only that. We don't only have snakes. They got these mountain lions. Now, I know y'all might be confused a little bit. In Tennessee, mountain lions look like a lynx, kind of. They're kind of like a smaller kind of lion. It don't look like no African lion. A mountain lion is different. You know, it's not like Simba on Lion King. We ain't talking about that kind of that kind of lion, right? It's a different world. These lions are a little bit different, but they call mountain lions. These big cats, whew, they ain't just no little house cat. They big. Now I'm a cat person. I'm gonna go ahead and come out and tell you that. Don't judge me. You saying this big black man holding this little pretty kitty? Don't look at me that way. I know exactly what you're doing right now. Don't judge me. I have a reason why I like cats. They independent. They real independent. I can leave for a couple few days. They still there. I left their food. They can flush the toilet if they want to. You know, I like dogs too, but my schedule ain't gonna work with no dog. I'm in and out too much. I be dipping and dapping. It's the timing ain't gonna work with a dog, but a cat. Hey, I come in, I say what's up. They look at me, and we good. It's real, real cool. But these mountain lions, yo, they real big cats. They wild animals. They might look cute, but I want to keep my hands. They important to me. I'm deaf. I need my hands. I need my fingers, right? But my point is these mountain lions, we got them in Southern California. And sometimes you on these trails walking and you see these signs that say, beware mountain lions. So with these snakes, I'm like, you may all of a sudden look around and I'm not even there. You might want to call the police and tell them that I'm missing, right? But the mountain lions, I'm like, that's scary, but I'm thinking, maybe it's kind of like my cat, my little kitty at home. And maybe if I whistle, it'll come. But I ain't trying to be no cat's late lunch. Bad idea. Bad idea. Let me not call these cats. Let me leave these mountain lions alone. So we got these snakes, these mountain lions. They got bobcats too. I know y'all in Tennessee, you don't really see that kind of stuff there, right? Maybe in the middle of nowhere, you get deer, but I don't think we have any kind of like real wild, crazy animals, right? You know, Over in the mountains, you might have some stuff, but that's another story. Now, if you are part of the University of Tennessee, if you alumni, if you fans or whatever, you might get used to that world over in the mountains. I get it. But here in Southern California, we got these mountain lions, we got these bobcats. My friends tell me to come out on hikes with them and wanted me to go and do an overnight camping trip. And I'm like, wait. You want me to do an overnight what? I'm like, hold on a second. We gonna have to, we talking about sleeping overnight, not in a bed. Let me tell you something. I'm a black deaf man from the city, if I haven't mentioned that before. Let me tell you something else. Sleeping overnight in a tent in the mountains, in some trees, really? The last time I checked, we was in bear hunting season. Now, what are people gonna think when I, a black man, am out walking in the woods at nighttime? Like, make that make sense. We ain't digging no graves, not out there. You know, every place has their thing, right? Like here we got the hiking and the wild animals, but one problem we got here in California is this traffic. Southern California, oh, I know y'all heard about this traffic. I don't know what the government is doing, but they need to be doing something about this traffic because it's really off the chain. Like it is ridiculous. You think, oh, I'm avoid rush hour. You can't avoid no rush hour here. Everything is rush hour. I'm telling you. If you get stuck in traffic in Southern California, and I'm talking about LA, right? I'm talking about Los Angeles. It's like you gonna be stuck equivalent to like sitting there watching the Titanic, the movie, the Titanic. Y'all remember that, right? I'm for real. That 3 hour movie. By the time you get home, shoot, Jack is drowning. Y'all may be wondering what in the world I'm talking about. Who's this Jack? Y'all know Leonardo DiCaprio. If you don't know who that is, you probably a little young. That's all right. But that movie, Titanic, it's a true, it's a historical movie. It's about the sinking of the Titanic. I guess they hit an iceberg. Oh, you know what? Let me not spoil the movie if you ain't seen it. Go watch the movie. It's a great movie. It's 3 hours though. Yeah, I'm not playing around. Count them, 3 hours. It's one problem in that movie. Y'all know Steve Harvey, right? He's a black comedian. He was talking about the movie. He was talking about when that boat started sinking, and there's a band, and they're still playing. They're on the boat. They're on this big old ship, and they still playing while the boat is sinking. And I'm like, what? I really wanted to cuss. Like I really wanted to cuss them out. But I'm like, Harold Fox, let me keep it together. This is a family show, so I'm not gonna tell you what I really wanted to say. But I'm sitting there. I remember watching this, and I'm like, who who is playing music while the ship is sinking? I mean, I get you trying to do something about, but Steve Harvey, he said if that was a black band, if that was black performers, you might see instruments, but you ain't gonna see us there. We gone. We gonna be wrapping our stuff up. We're gonna be asking where's the car. Of course, where's the car? We on a boat. I guess we better find something. We gotta be driving on water. We better get that Batmobile. We better get that jet. We better do something. But Black folks ain't about to be playing no music on a boat that's sinking. Ooh. Them people may need a therapist. Might need 12 sessions, a good 12 sessions. Hold on, let me get some more lemonade. Give me a second. So my interpreter right here, hold on, let me show y'all where he at, what he doing. You see him, he's talking, he's comfortable, he ain't got no sweat. He ain't trying to sop up his forehead or nothing. He ain't got them 3 or 4 jugs of Gatorade he trying to go through and then say, oh, you know what? Can I get a break so I can go and pee out all this Gatorade that I done drank right now, trying to keep my throat wet? He real cool. We real chill. That's my bro. I've been impressed. I got to remember to call him Doc. Dr. Jonathan Webb. It's not very often that we hear doctors associated with a Black man, right? So we got to remember them titles sometimes. Can't touch that. But at the same time, he got some hood mentality. He know exactly where I'm coming from. That whole Memphis, St. Louis vibe, we know what it's about. We know we know how that all works in the world, right? And as soon as we on them ribs, we good. We real good. If you walk away from this show remembering anything tonight, I'm gonna need you to remember ribs. All of life comes down to ribs. And of course, don't forget your lemonade too. Now you got to get your seasonings right. You got to get your potato salad. We still got a lot of issues with that. Some of my friends be bringing this potato salad. I'm like, what is this? What is you doing with what you trying to call potato salad? Like, what the blank? Y'all, I know it's a family-friendly show. I might be using other language. If I was in another show, but they bring this stuff that they be trying to call potato salad. I'm like, what is this in a bowl that you brought me? The reality, though, is that with all our diversity, we are a beautiful collection of human beings. We can be allies, right? It's a lot that's been going on. We've had Black Lives Matter. We still matter. We still see things going on. This Stop Asian Hate, it's enough. We got the pandemic. We need to beat that. There's a lot going on. We need to move on. We need to move on with life. We need to get our eyes set on the future. It's time. It's time. But if you come and visit here in Southern California, especially LA, if you get stuck in traffic, call me on FaceTime. I'll keep you busy. I'll chit chat with you for 3 hours, or maybe you can just put on Titanic. You know that by the time you get home, Jack might be drowning and you can wrap it on up. Okay, somebody just told me it's about that time in the chat. Let me put on my glasses. Y'all trying to embarrass me? I can't even see. Let me look. Oh, Hey, we about to that time. Yep, we getting close. Let me tell y'all, I've really enjoyed my time with y'all. It's been a good hour. And really, it's an honor for me to be here. I know that I'm not in person, and y'all know I'm not in person, but I can't help but believe that soon we're going to be back to normal life. And I can't wait to be back in Tennessee, get me some ribs, and eat them with y'all. And we'll have some good lemonade too. And some people can have some wine. I know that some of y'all be on your wine, some of y'all be on your beer, some of y'all be on your juice, right? Whatever you like. But you underage ones, I got my eyes on you. You know I'll be watching you, right? Don't play. I know how them teenagers are. Y'all get real rebellious. Okay, y'all. Hey, thank you for tonight. Thank you for inviting me to the show. I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I want you to stay safe. Have an excellent night. Stay masked up. Keep drinking your water. Keep checking in with folks. Not everybody has friends and family. We got some people who are really feeling, alone. They real isolated. Reach out to folks. Spread some love. I know y'all in Tennessee got big hearts. Spread that love, yeah? All right, y'all. Thank you. Have an excellent night.
Thank you so much, Harold Fox. And thank you, Dr. Jonathan Webb. Such a amazing performance tonight. And I've learned that lemonade plus ribs makes a delicious meal. Again, I hope you all truly enjoy the event tonight and tonight's performance. And again, I want to thank you for attending and enjoying joining us for this performance. Thank you so much. Hats off to Harold Fox and his team. Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful night. Have a good night, everybody. Bye bye.